Hello students, in the last lecture we talked about wave motion equation and velocity of wave in fluid and the Newton's equation. So in this lecture I will start with the Laplace correction. So when the Newton formulated the equation for the velocity of sound in air, then from that equation the velocity of sound comes around 280 meter per second at 0 degree centigrade. But from the experiment, we all know that the velocity of sound is near to 332 meter per second. So this difference was explained by the Laplace. So, so he pointed out that when the wave moves through the air, then during the compression, gas heats up and the particles comes close to each other, while during rarefaction the particles go apart and gas cools down. Since these rarefaction and compression appear so fast that the heat is not able to transfer to the ambient. So it means that the heat which is generating during the wave motion, it is not able to go outside, or the heat cannot come from outside to the particles during wave motion. So the total heat produced by the wave inside that remains constant. This causes the change in the temperature, and so the temperature does not remain constant. So the process is not an isothermal, but it is an adiabatic process, and so the total heat of the system remains constant. Thus, the elasticity value in the adiabatic condition will be E equal to gamma P, where gamma is equal to Cp upon Cv, where Cp and Cv are the specific heat at constant pressure and constant volume. So the ratio of Cp by Cv is 1.41 for the air. So if we put the velocity v is equal to under root gamma p by rho, and then we calculate the velocity of sound in air, then we will get 332.5 meter per second, which is close to the experimental value. Now coming to the effect of density on the velocity of wave. So if there are two gases with the density rho1 and rho2 with same physical conditions, then the velocity in one gas will be this one, and the velocity in another gas will be v2. So the ratio of the two velocities will be this: v2 upon v1 is equal to under root rho1 upon rho2. So it shows that the velocity is reciprocal to the under root of the density of the gas. Coming to the effect of temperature, as we have already seen that the velocity is reciprocal to the under root of the density, and the density is reciprocal to the temperature. So as temperature increases, density decreases, and vice versa. So from these two we can have that the velocity is proportional to the under root of temperature. Now coming to the effect of pressure. So when we change the pressure at constant temperature, then the density of air also changes. So as we know that the volume is equal to mass by density, so we can write it like this. And from the Boyle's law, at constant temperature we know that PV is equal to constant, and putting the value of the volume V equal to m by rho, we will have this equation. So from here, as we know that the mass of the gas will be constant, it does not matter what is the volume, what is the pressure, what is the temperature. So the mass is constant, so then the P by rho should also be constant. So in this case, if we have V equal to under root gamma P by rho, and if P is changing, then rho will also change such that the under root P by rho will be constant. So the velocity of the wave in the medium will not change. So at constant temperature, there is no effect of pressure on the velocity of wave. Coming to the effect of humidity, so the density of water vapor at NTP is 0.0008 gram per cc. NTP is normal temperature pressure, whereas the density of dry air is 0.001293. So we can see that the density of the dry air is higher than the water vapor. So when the water vapor mixes with the air, the density of the air comes down. So when the density of the air comes down, then as we know that the velocity of sound is reciprocal to the under root of the density. So when the density will decrease, the velocity of sound will increase. So as the humidity increases in the air, the velocity of sound increases. Now coming to the reflection of waves. So the reflection of wave occur when a wave is moving from one medium to another medium, and at the interface there is some of the waves comes back to the first medium. So this phenomena is called reflection. So in the reflection there are some important features. So first thing is that the reflected wave have the same frequency as the incident wave. Second thing is the incident wave, reflected wave, and the normal to the interface are always in same plane. Then the angle of reflection is equal to angle of incidence. The fourth thing is if the reflection is from the denser medium, then there will be a inversion of displacement of the reflected wave. So if the incident wave is y is equal to a sine omega t minus kx, then the reflected wave will have a negative sign in the amplitude. So it means that the phase has been shifted by the pi. Now, if the wave is reflecting from the rear medium, then there will be no phase shift. Now coming to the transverse wave on uniform string. So if a transverse wave is traveling through a string or wire, then the velocity of wave in the string is given by v is equal to under root t by m, where t is the tension of the wire or a string and m is the mass per unit length. Now if the string is vibrating in the p segments and the string has the length l, then the length of each segment will be L by P, and this segment will represent the half of the wavelength of the wave. So we can write L by P is equal to lambda by 2. So from here we have the value of the wavelength lambda. Now we know that the velocity v is equal to n lambda, where n is the frequency of wave. So putting the values of lambda and v, we will have the frequency of the wave in the string n is equal to p by 2l under root t by m. And now if the string is vibrating only in single segment, then p value will be only 1, and in this case n will be equal to 1 by 2l under root t by m. Okay, so coming to the superposition of wave. So when a wave is propagating through the medium, then a particle moves according to that wave. Now if there are many waves moving through the same point in that medium, then that particle or that position will behave according to all those waves, and the displacement of that particle from the mean position will be determined from the displacement of the all waves at that point at a same time. So if y1, y2, y3, etc. are the displacement at a particular time at particular position due to individual waves, then the resultant displacement y at the same time and at the same position will be a vector sum of all the displacement at that point. So it can be given as here y is equal to y1 plus y2 plus y3 and so on. So here you can see the red wave is the resultant wave and green and blue are the individual waves. So at any point which is given here as a vertical line, you can see the resultant is changing according to the displacement of the individual waves. Now, what is the use of the superposition principle? So superposition principle is used in the interference of waves, in standing waves, and in the beats produced by sounds or other waves. So these are the problems related to this lecture, and in the next lecture I will talk about the superposition principle and then the standing wave.